Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. In today's Pick a Card reading, we are receiving some messages that are very specific. I have no idea what these are going to be. There's no topic for this reading other than you are meant to hear this message exactly when this video finds you. So if you felt called to click on it and to listen to this reading, to be here with me at this time, that means that Spirit has a message for you and that you are 100% ready to hear it. So we've got three groups as usual today. Group number 1 is the 4 of Swords. Group number 2 is the 9 of Cups. And group number 3 is the Sun card. If you feel called to more than one, there may just be multiple messages for you, or these messages may actually blend together. Sometimes that can happen as well. I'm feeling called to say that, so maybe that will happen. And keep in mind that these are general readings, so just take the messages that resonate with you and leave the rest. Use the timestamps below in the description box or the chapters to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1. So you guys were called to the 4 of Swords, and this feels to me, I'm hearing twists and turns. All right, that's different than what I would have expected, but they're showing me, or they're bringing my attention to the fact that she's kind of twisting around here, looking behind her, looking over her shoulder. So you may be questioning where you've come from or where you're going. I'm hearing Cotton-Eyed Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? So you could be looking for someone, but there's something about twists and turns, like unexpected changes, perhaps, that are on the horizon. Okay. I didn't plan out this reading at all, so I think let's just go in with some more of these cards from this tarot deck, and we'll see. Tower, yeah, this is unexpected changes. The Tower card is very much about twists and turns, unexpected things you don't see coming, or looking over your shoulder, maybe having been through some challenging things in the past and wondering, is that going to repeat? Can I really be at rest when I don't know what's coming up ahead? Or I'm not sure how things are going to unfold. Even in this card, she's looking over her shoulder. Can you guys see that? Like the way she's looking back. So there's something about you're looking back either to find something that you've lost, or because you're trying to prepare yourself for some kind of an unexpected twist or turn. But the thing with the Tower card is that you can't really predict these types of life events. The Tower card can represent all sorts of different things, but it's essentially a big, sometimes shocking, unexpected shift, which can be good or bad. And you won't necessarily even know if it's good or bad until you look back at it. So maybe this is what they're talking about here as well. It's like perspective, because sometimes something bad can lead to something good. And if that bad thing hadn't happened, or that quote unquote bad thing hadn't happened, then you wouldn't have been led to something that was truly fulfilling or destined for you, or something that you really enjoy. And the same thing can happen with good things. Like you might think that you want something, or something unexpected happens and it feels good in the moment, but then later you find out that that's not exactly what you wanted, or it led you down a path that was really challenging or something like that. So I'm feeling this message about being willing to accept where you're at right now, and not necessarily holding on to the past or trying to predict the future. Because yes, there's something here that you don't see, but you're not meant to see it. And I think the reason why Spirit has drawn you to this reading, group number 1, is because if you are attached to the way something should go, or you're feeling like you need to have predictability, is actually the word I'm hearing, that you need to have predictability in the events of your life unfolding. Spirit is here to tell you that you're 100% ready today to hear that you're safe no matter what happens, because no matter what happens, you can handle it. Now, I am curious about this Tower. Oh my God, perspective. I literally said perspective, because that's what I'm getting. Spirit speaks loud and clear. Everything is guided. There's divine order and timing to everything. This is another reason they brought you to this reading, group number 1, is to let you know that no matter what happens, it is divine intervention. For better or for worse, it is divine intervention. Everything in your life unfolds exactly as it's supposed to. And all you need to do is to trust this process, to relax. I'm hearing, I just heard that very loud. Relax, group number one, because even though you're not sure, or you could even be going through a tower moment right now. Maybe there's some unexpected thing that has been dropped on your lap, or something that you have to deal with that's uncomfortable or challenging, or maybe it's even a good thing, but it feels a little overwhelming in the moment. This is Spirit's way of letting you know that there's going to be perspective with this. And having perspective of the now moment can be helpful. I'm hearing to recommend to you, group number one, to look back at times in your life where something challenging happened and then it led to something good. Like kind of do a mind map of, okay, this was the good thing that this negative thing resulted in, and try to connect the dots as to how that negative thing led to this good thing. Or think of the negative thing and then try to find something positive that came out of that. Like maybe it redirected you, or maybe you met someone important, or maybe you were led to a different line of work that you really enjoyed. So it's like I'm hearing redirection. Oh, right. Yeah. It's like that quote, redirection is God's protection. It's that kind of thing. So maybe something you were hoping for falls through, or maybe this happened in the past and you're getting perspective on it now. So if you went through some tower moments in the past, you're meant to review those things, look back just for a moment, right? Don't sit there forever, but just for a moment, look back and get that perspective, because hindsight is always 20/20. You get the benefit of that hindsight to be able to see how the timeline, how the trajectory played out over the course of potentially even years, but it could be a shorter period of time as well. So there's something about getting this perspective that's going to help you to see what some kind of a shocking event was in the past and how that led to things being in alignment for you now. And it's going to help protect you, because you can then have that perspective with you through any times where you do have to face certain things again, because life is not a straight line, and life is complicated, and it is complex, and it is unexpected, and there is a lot of things that are like wrenches thrown into the works. But you are the one who can stay grounded through all of it. Okay, 5 of Cups. Painful endings. Things that you didn't want to necessarily let go of, but ended up having to either walk away from, or things that were removed from your life. But I'm getting that you are now able to have perspective on why this happened. And it's important that you look at this. And that's why Spirit's called you to this reading, because maybe looking back at this from an earlier point in time, like even a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month or whatever, you wouldn't have seen, you hear that? My throat chakra just went completely off there. That's wow. You wouldn't have seen it. You wouldn't have been able to understand it. You wouldn't have seen how the dots all connected. And so you wouldn't have really been able to learn from that experience what it was actually teaching you, because you kind of have to let the story unfold all the way before you jump to conclusions. And obviously your story is not done all the way, because that won't be until the end of life. But what you can do in this particular instance is to address one thing that happened that was really painful for you and gain perspective on where it's leading you, because you've come to this point where it has led you to something important. I wonder what that is. Awakening. Okay. Right away, we have an answer. Awakening. This is the Judgment card. So this has led you to a point in your awakening that has spurred you on. So it's like the cracks are where the light comes in. So the pain and the things, I'm hearing purging. Okay, so you're purging some pain from the past by getting some perspective. So many P's. Purging pain from the past by getting perspective. You guys know I'm all for alliteration and wordplay. So you're getting that, group number one, and it has spurred on an awakening for you, like a dark night of the soul moment. This is kind of what I'm getting from your reading here, is that maybe you've been through a dark night of the soul moment where you thought that all was lost, and you came back from it and you found your way, and it led you to what you're doing now, which is what you're meant to be doing. Or if you feel like it's not, then it's leading you toward that. And there's a couple more twists and turns that you don't see coming. But either way, it's going to lead you where you need to go. So I'm really getting this strong message of perspective that leads to trust. So having this perspective of, okay, everything is working for me, not against me. And as I have that perspective, as I have that outlook, as I can be conscious of that and work with that, I'm able to rest, I'm able to recover, I'm able to purge the things from the past rather than having them keep me down or keep me stuck. I'm able to move forward. Okay, I feel like we need to move to a new deck. Which one, Spirit? Okay, we're going to go in with the channeled messages that I wrote yesterday for the mystery bag reading. We used them in that reading and it was really profound. So let's take a look. For group number 1, Spirit, what is it that they need to know? I actually saw that card sticking out a little bit. In your hands. Something is in your hands, like the way that you're viewing this situation, the way that you are moving through life, I'm hearing. Moving through life, it's in your hands. You do have free will here, but the thing is that the tower moments can feel like they're out of our hands. They can feel like, again, divine intervention. It feels like we don't have control over that, and I think that's why sometimes they can feel really scary. But ultimately, the way that you perceive it is in your hands, and you're able to gain that perspective now that's going to serve you going forward. Okay, something to do with work could be important here. I did kind of mention that as an example earlier, like, I can't remember what I said specifically, but I was seeing something in my head about redirection being God's protection. So maybe you get fired from a job, or you get laid off, or you have to quit for some reason, something about having to stop doing something that you were previously doing, and having that be a lot of grief. I'm hearing layoff, specifically layoff for somebody in this group. And there's a lot of grief around that. But I'm seeing that this is it. If you've been through that, or if you're going through that right now, the perspective that you're going to gain from that is going to significantly shift your consciousness. I'm hearing the word catalyst. Okay, so this is a catalyst for your awakening. And to me, when I'm looking at it from this soul level perspective, not necessarily from the human point of view, but from the soul point of view, I can see that this is a redirection for your higher good. So it's better for you this way. And even if your human mind doesn't agree with that right now, or didn't like it in the past, it is actually helping you. It is actually helping you to grow, to expand, to heal. It could lead you to a different line of work or a different job that is much more hands-on, where you feel more in control or more aligned with what you're doing. That's another thing I'm getting. So let's say, for example, you get let go from something and it knocks you down low, and you have to bounce back from that. Well, first of all, it's teaching you resilience. Second of all, it's helping you to assess what you really want, what you value, what you're good at. And I'm seeing this awakening happening, leading you to maybe a completely different line of work, maybe even something spiritual. Let's see. Don't look down. Wow. Okay. This card is about staying focused on where you're going, staying focused on the path ahead of you, even if you're only seeing 1 foot at a time in front of you. Because if you're turning back all the time while you're working, or if you're as you're walking along this path, if you're kind of like looking all around, and if you're taking a leap of faith and you look down, it's really scary. But if you just look at where you're going and you focus on that and you keep that perspective locked in, you're going to be able to move through any kind of upheaval with a lot more grace. Faith, I'm also hearing, is important here. So faith can help you to, it buoys you forward, right? Like it helps to suspend some of the doubt or fear that may have inhibited you or caused pessimism around some kind of an unexpected event. Okay, we have writing and public. Public writing. This is kind of reminding me of a library, and I'm getting something about the Akashic library. So this is like something that is written into your Akash. It feels destined to me, group number 1. And whether this is something that's happening or something that has already occurred, it is aligned. Like it feels to me energetically like this was meant for you. This was meant to happen. And it was meant to kind of push you outside your comfort zone. Maybe even doing something for work that is more public. where you may have preferred to stay inside your comfort zone. They're showing me the Tower kind of like being in this period of isolation or staying behind the scenes in your home, even possibly. But something happens and it kind of forces you outside your door. Nonchalant. So just know that this is happening for a reason, or it happened for a reason. And even though it may feel challenging, it's kind of like, okay, I can move through this. I can be nonchalant about this. I feel this card on top as well. Entrepreneur. Oh my God. I was kind of feeling that. I was like, this is giving me the vibe. Like, let me give you an example. Group 1. Let me give you an example. It feels like, you're working at a job, 9 to 5 or something like that, and you like it. Or maybe you don't like it, but let's just say, for example, you like it, you're fairly content there, things are pretty consistent, it's reliable, and then all of a sudden you get let go. And you're like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Maybe you even plunge into a deep depression, or you're really concerned about your financial welfare, your life, your health may even have suffered. And then all of a sudden it catalyzes something for you that kind of launches you in a new direction, or you start looking for answers. And as you look for these answers, maybe you went through a spiritual awakening, or you start, I'm hearing the word digesting, you start digesting information that helps you to assimilate new ideas, new inspiration, and problem solve. It's like it kind of forced you, or it's going to help you to problem solve in a new direction and to become more autonomous, more self-reliant. And I'm seeing that if this is what has happened or is happening, you are meant to be an entrepreneur. You're not meant to work a 9 to 5 job. And so that being said, your spirit is fully on board with this, even if your human self is having a hard time kind of wrapping your head around the details of this, or finding the perspective in the moment where things are kind of ripped away from you, or that's what it feels like. This may have been in the past, though, because we have these figures looking over their shoulders. So this may have already happened for you. And if that's the case, then Spirit has called you to this reading to bring awareness to the perspective of how this has changed your life, how this has led in a series of dominoes, because that's what they're showing me, is like dominoes, one hitting the other. I also just saw ripples in a pond from a stone being dropped into it. It's like that heavy thing that really shattered the surface for you, that sort of placid experience of life. The upheaval actually created like these huge ripples of effect going out into your life, and possibly even into other people's lives as well. So not only thinking about how this has changed your life, but how it may have positively impacted other people's lives as well. Okay, I feel called to this deck, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going very intuitively. Pine. This feels like a fresh start. And it feels like something that you are seeing clearly for the first time, maybe in a long time or ever. Pine, it kind of reminds me of the pineal gland, the third eye, clarity of mind, the reformer. This has been or is a very intense process of transformation that most likely has completely restructured or reformed the foundations of your life. Because that's what the Tower does. Like when the Tower strikes, it is a moment of catastrophe in some senses, but it does help us to reform the things and to readjust. It helps us to reposition, and it gets us into better alignment, because only things that are not meant to be there can be disrupted by the Tower. If something is meant to be in your life, if it is destined for you, if it is something that is aligned, it won't be taken away. It won't be affected. And if something is for you and it hasn't been in your life, then the Tower comes in to kind of shove it into your life, or put you, or completely reposition you into that arena where it can be possible. Sunflower. I feel a lot of healing, optimism, and positivity coming after a period of possibly depression or intense grief over having lost something or someone could have even been the case. Like having lost something so significant to you may have felt like the world was ending and you were never going to find your happiness again. But I'm seeing that you are finally ready to have this new perspective on why this was important for you. It's a much higher vantage point, is what they're showing me. It's seeing above the situation, above your own experience of it, and seeing the actual storyline. It's kind of like finally reading through to the end of the chapter or the end of the book and seeing how it all fit together. It's like I'm seeing something about foreshadowing. Oh yeah, something about writing could be significant. Perhaps you're being called to become a writer, or let's say, for example, you lost a job doing something and then you turn to writing as a tool to kind of like recover, or even as a means to create a new line of opportunity for yourself. But either way, I'm seeing that you gain this new perspective and you're able to heal. I see a lot of healing for you, recovery as well, recovering, healing, gaining this new optimistic perspective, because you can see and be thankful. I think this is really important too, is actually being thankful for what really challenged you, what was really hard, or something that you lost. It doesn't mean that you're like, oh, thank God that happened, but you're just like, okay, well, I can see it now. It makes sense. It's this deep level of understanding. That's really what I'm seeing and feeling here for you. Group number one is this layer of understanding that is so necessary for this much bigger picture of what's going on in your life. Neptune. The creativity, Neptune has to do with illusion, but it can also be about this deep fantasy realm. So maybe fantasy or fiction writing, that could be an entrepreneurial pursuit that you're called to pursue in lieu of losing some kind of a stable job or employment. And I'm seeing in your hands, and he's holding the pine, he's holding Neptune. So I feel like you are going to have something come into your life. Let's say something has just been ripped away. I don't know where you are in the timeline trajectory here, but let's say something got ripped away. Perhaps now you're seeing the perspective because you're seeing the replacement come in. And you can't replace anything really, but it's like something has come in and now you see why that had to happen. So let's say, for example, it was a loved one that was taken away. Maybe it was a breakup, maybe there was a death, something like that. And then it seemed really horrible. I mean, it not seemed, like it was really horrible for a long time. There was a lot of grief. And I'm also hearing the word impatience. Okay, so impatience over what? Maybe moving towards something. Struggling to find your way, I'm hearing. Oh, okay. Right, twists and turns. Struggling to find your way, feeling lost, perhaps, not knowing which direction to go. Now, all of a sudden, however long later, something comes in and it was a direct catalyst, or it was triggered by this cataclysmic event or this loss. And then you're able to look back and say, oh, okay, I mean, I still wouldn't have really wanted it to happen, but it needed to, in a way. The example that's actually coming to mind is I was listening to a psychiatrist talk about his experience of shifting perspective on trauma, and this is what it's really reminding me of. And he was talking about how if he had gotten a Sega Genesis, he would never have met his wife. And then he walks you through this process of finding where the trauma or the thing that you were disappointed about at the very minimum can lead to something really profound. And basically the story was that he wasn't sure if he wanted a Sega Genesis or a Nintendo 64 or Super Nintendo for Christmas. And he said he wanted the Nintendo. His parents got him the Nintendo, but he changed his mind at the last minute and wanted the Sega. But it was too late. They'd already bought it. They couldn't return it. And so he was disappointed on Christmas. But not to say that that's trauma. It's just an example of like how to do this process of reflection. But anyway, he ended up becoming friends with a kid who lived near him who had a Sega. So not only did he make a friend, but he got to play this game that he'd been wanting. And then that led to him staying in that town because as he grew up, his best friend was there. He didn't want to leave. If he had left, he would never have met his wife, who happened to be from that town. And so he had connected these dots, and through this process of like reverse engineering, where a point of tension led to something really beautiful, he was able to kind of reconcile some of these things from his past. And the recommendation was to use this technique to soften the blow or just gain some perspective on really difficult things. And that's what I'm seeing here, group number 1, is that Spirit is helping you to gain perspective. I'm going to go in with this deck next on something that was powerful for you in your life and finding out why that happened. Ooh, ephemeral. It feels like this was really important for you because it fundamentally changes or changed the way that you see the world. I think it opened your mind and it opened your heart, even though it was painful. It led to a massive heart expansion. On the bottom of the deck, we have glimpse. I feel like this gave you a glimpse of something bigger than yourself. And now I'm hearing NDE. Okay, this may have even been a near-death experience. Or that could be like sort of a symbolic example of like, you know, somebody is doing one thing in their life. They're showing me an example from the show When Calls the Heart, where the pastor was previously a thief and he was like a professional criminal. And then he almost dies, turns his life around, makes a commitment that if he survives that near-death experience, he will commit his life to God, and then he becomes a pastor. It's like he was kind of like struck down, that tower moment, the lightning struck, and it completely like reorients your life. You're going one direction and then it completely shifts you. And there's a reason for that. So if this hasn't happened yet, this is preparation to let you know that something may be coming that is going to shift your life, but it is going to put you in the right direction. And this is not to freak you out. It's just to prepare you if this hasn't happened yet. And you'll know if this has happened because these are not the types of things that you can forget, right? Tower moments are very pivotal in our lives. They're like major plot points in our story arc and development as a character, if we look at it that way. And I'm seeing you being placed very strategically by the divine, group number 1. Like there's no coincidences here. Everything is happening for a reason. And I think that was another thing that I can't remember his name. I think it's Dr. Eiler. I'll have to find. He's here on YouTube. And he was saying that it can feel really flippant in the moment when something horrible happens and somebody says, you know, everything happens for a reason. I truly, doing what I do and working with Spirit, I truly believe that that's true. Everything does happen for a reason, but it's really hard sometimes in the moment, or it can feel invalidating to have somebody say that. And I'm still angry about certain things that have happened in my life, like when my mom died from cancer. That was really difficult. It was 3 years ago. And I still haven't gained the perspective on that one yet. But I know that everything happens for a reason, and I trust that. And maybe someday I'll be able to look back and see where that led me. So I hope that you're able to gain some perspective here, group number 1. I feel like you are, or you have, and that's why Spirit has put this reading in front of you today and called you to click on it, is because you actually have gained some perspective here, or you're going to after watching this. It feels like there's a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity here. On the lighter side, that's what it feels like. A once in a lifetime experience, a once in a lifetime opportunity. It completely redirects the course of your life. It's kind of like the passing of the comet, you know, like with the glimpse, this comet going by. It's like one of those things that only happens once, and it's rare. In this case, it feels lucky. So don't fear. I heard don't fear the reaper. Okay. Don't fear the reaper. Have the perspective, and reapers don't always bring physical death. It can be like a death of a work situation, a death of an old version of ourselves. After we go through awakening, we're never the same again. We're the same person, but we're not. And life fundamentally changes. So I'm feeling like you're getting a glimpse into the higher order of things. And this is what shifts your perspective and completely realigns the way that you're perceiving and interacting with this destiny that's unfolding right in front of you. So group number 1, I feel like I want to say, be open to whatever life throws your way, because you never know how powerful it is going to be in changing your life. In the moment, it might feel like the worst thing ever, but it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Yeah, that's the message. All right. So group 1, that is what Spirit wanted you to know today. I hope this reading was helpful. Just take what messages resonate and leave the rest. If it didn't feel like it was for you, that's okay. Maybe it will later, right? Like, again, maybe the perspective will come later and this won't make sense right now. That's okay too. Everything is in divine alignment, and there is a timing and an order to things. I have learned that time and time again working with Spirit. There is a timing and an order to things, and we don't always understand it at the human level, but it's there. So I'm wishing you guys all the best in recovering or gaining perspective on whatever this situation or these twists and turns were or are in your life. And I'm sending you lots of blessings for the future as you walk this destined path. I love you guys so much, and I thank you for all your support here on the channel. Thank you to the members who support my work and get the additional pick a card readings ad-free, and also the higher tier members who get the live stream sessions with me, where we do members only collective readings and answer questions. And thank you to all of the subscribers and viewers who support my work through likes, shares, subscribes, donations of monetary value or exchange, or even card decks. A lot of the card decks were donated. So big thank yous to all of you from the bottom of my heart. I love you so much, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2. You were called to the 9 of Cups, and this is a very happy card. So I'm hopeful, and I think maybe that's part of this message, something about hope or hopefulness. I'm hoping that this is going to be a really positive and happy message for you to hear today. So let's get some information. What is going on for group number 2? Why have you called them here today, Spirit? 2 of Cups. Wow. Emotional happiness really looking good here for you, group number 2. 2 of Crystals. 2 twos. And perspective. I'm hearing gaining a relationship. Gaining a relationship that makes you very happy. Somebody who you love really deeply, who you appreciate, who helps balance out your life in some way. I'm seeing a lot of give and receive. This person mirrors you in a beautiful way. Okay. So this feels like a love reading. They're actually showing me love cards in my mind, so I'm going to just go get those. Hold on. Okay, so I didn't plan out these readings. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to let Spirit bring through whatever it is that they want to for these messages. But yeah, I was seeing this deck clairvoyantly in my mind's eye. So let's take a look for group number 2. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So it feels like you being in your happiness is attracting, I'm specifically hearing the word mate. Okay. So like if you're single, this is your reading. This is your reading. If you are just getting into a relationship, this could be also your reading as well. If you're already coupled or married and you're well and good and happy, this may not be your reading. And I would still look at the reason why you may have been called here. Maybe stick around. There could be some messages or some clues. But if not, you can always check out one of the other groups. But this is definitely a love reading. Okay. We have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Oh, this could even be a friendship, but they did give me the word mate. So I mean, soulmates can be friends too. I mean, they are friends. I see soulmates as people who we've traveled with for multiple lifetimes, whether they're platonic or otherwise. But there's something about coming back together after a period of time of separation or being apart, being at a distance physically even, is what I'm feeling. There's like a magnetic attraction pulling you and this person back together. And I feel like you had to do a lot of work on yourself, group number 2, to be able to get into the vibrational alignment, to have this kind of reconciliation, or to see this physical shift happening around you. I'm getting the word movement, and I'm feeling movement, like I'm feeling something, almost feeling like they're showing me a treadmill. I'm seeing somebody walking on a treadmill. Elliptical, I'm hearing elliptical. Maybe you were like orbiting this person, or you felt like you weren't moving forward, or you were working on yourself, because being on a treadmill makes me think of like working on yourself. You could have felt like you weren't going anywhere, but as you were doing this, you were focusing on your own happiness. That was actually creating this attraction or helping it to come about. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. I'm hearing this is the one, and they're showing me people jumping up and down in joy and excitement in my head. And I was noticing earlier today synchronicities about engagement rings. Like I watched the Nordic Lights reading this morning, and she had an engagement ring on her hand, and everyone was commenting on it. And then there was another couple of synchronicities about engagement rings. And then, oh yeah, I actually went to the gym and I signed up for a gym membership today. And the person who processed my sign up form, she was wearing a beautiful engagement ring, and it caught my eye. So there's connections here, there's synchronicities here, and these messages are meant to come to you at exactly this time, group number 2, because it's connected to this person, to this engagement. And I'm hearing the word propulsion. Okay, so it's like there's this momentum happening, or you're being propelled toward each other. This catalyst has taken effect. They're showing me like in a science lab over a Bunsen burner, where you like pour in a chemical and then it has this reaction. Oh my God, chemistry. I forgot it literally says chemistry right there. But that's what they were showing me. They were showing me like science lab. You two together have this really beautiful connection, or you have this really beautiful effect on one another. I'm hearing you co-balance each other. So instead of having codependency, this relationship feels very, I am hearing the word dualistic, but in the best possible way. It's kind of like you are each other's opposing polarities, and you balance each other out in that effect. So where one of you has a weakness, the other has a strength in that category, and vice versa. And so there's like this compensatory effect that doesn't breed dependency, but instead founders growth. That is spirit channeling right through me there. So that was eloquent. Thank you. Let's see. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. I think that's why we have the 9 of Cups here, because you have done a lot of work here, group number 2. You've done a lot of work to focus on yourself. I'm seeing something about the book here being significant. They just showed me this. So maybe you've done a lot of journaling or self-reflection. Maybe you've read a lot about certain like relationship patterns or dynamics, or to create your own happiness. I just feel like you've been really self-focused, group number 2. And this is kind of what has spurred this on. Or maybe you've been really lighthearted in your own life. You've had an optimistic perspective. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. And it's funny because they did show me somebody walking on the treadmill. It's like they're taking literal steps, but it might feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you are. Yeah, you definitely are. Cherries could be a significant synchronicity. They really popped those out at me. And when spirit wants me to notice something because it's a significant symbol or has a deeper meaning to it. They kind of like highlight it and like pop it out at me. And I saw that with the cherries. Cherries to me speak of love and romance as well, because first of all, they're sweet, but also second of all, because they come out in pairs. And you've got these twins here as well. So read into that if you will, but just take it as it resonates. But there's definitely a pairing here. Mutual benefit, I'm hearing mutual benefit. You balance each other out. It's not coming from any place of lack. It feels very much empowering mutually and aligned. Oh, they did say that one on top. Okay, we'll get that one more. I just reorganized it so that things could fit with just what we have, but all right. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual paths. It feels like a very spiritually based relationship. And I think that's why it's ascending, like the word ascending here. I think that's why this relationship is ascending to a higher level or helping you to ascend to a higher level, group 2, because this person brings out the best in you rather than the worst in you. Okay, I'm feeling called to this deck. Let's take a look. For group number 2, why did you bring this to their attention today, Spirit? I want to ask that question, like why today? Things are about to get really juicy. Oh my God. And I was seeing the cherries. It's like juicy fruit, sweetness. And I just felt called to ask that question, why today? Like, why was today the day that group 2 had to hear this message? Because things are about to get really juicy. So if you're single right now, group number 2, get ready because somebody's coming in. Let's take a look. A little heads up on an addiction that afflicts all really old souls. Giving love eventually becomes an even greater need than receiving love. See, you're not strange. Love the universe. So I feel like you're going to have this opportunity to give love. Yeah, because you've filled your cup. The 9 of Cups is you having done the work, filled your cup all the way up to the tippy top, and that has catalyzed the attraction of this other person who perfectly matches that. It's the 2 cups balanced in that 2 of Cups card. And you come together and you overflow into one another. It's like a fountain that is continually renewing. Things are about to get really juicy. And I feel this is reminding me also of your aura. It's something about a juicy aura. That's a synchronicity I was seeing a couple weeks ago. And it's like your aura is full. Your aura is all juiced up with vital force energy. Maybe you've even been exercising because they just showed me somebody on the staircase. What are those called? Not elliptical. Stair climber? Oh yeah, taking steps, they said. But anyway, there's something about like you working on yourself. Group number 2 that is very significant here. You have more options than you realize. It sure is hard to get really angry at someone when you can think of all the reasons you love them. And you can, the universe. So maybe this is somebody that you've been with before and you were angry at them. That could be the case. And they might pop back up in your life. If you are not willing to be with this person, then don't, obviously. Like, no tarot reading has power over your life. You are the only one who has that. But there's something here about being able to reconcile. I'm hearing forgive yourself. Okay, so it's not even about reconciling with the other person. It's like forgiving yourself. Maybe you were angry I'm not sure why. I just kind of, I split the deck. I was just curious. I split the deck and I saw this card. Sometimes the good is hidden. Find the good in what they said or asked. It's always there, even if they didn't mean for it to be there. Sherlockly yours, the universe. P.S. Clues for what you want are hidden all around you. So clues like synchronicities, because I've mentioned that a couple times in your reading group number 2, are really important here. So follow the clues. I'm an advocate for writing down synchronicities because that's what Spirit recommended to me. They had me start my synchronicities journals. I'm very open about that here on the channel. And they even had me create the synchronicities oracle deck, which is still in pre-production, but it's coming. And you may not see how this is unfolding yet, but there's something happening. And I also saw this card that was underneath it. There's a deeper reason for each of your questions. Seek it. Okay, so guidance, attention, help, maybe love always. Criticism, never. The question was, what to give others, if anything at all? Isn't it fun being you? So this is you not judging this other person or not judging yourself. Because this is what you're giving more from this space of abundance, this space of compassion, this space of love. I'm seeing somebody erasing the word criticism from a whiteboard. That's what they just showed me clairvoyantly. It was literally the word criticism written down and then you coming over and erasing it, group number 2. So you're clearing the slate, or you're getting rid of the old approach to yourself or to others. And I just heard, what you seek is seeking you. Yeah, seek it. What you seek is seeking you. So it feels like you've been looking for this person, they've been looking for you. The more that you focus on your inner joy, the 9 of Cups is all about joy and self-fulfillment and happiness and gratitude. And then you've got this youthful spirit of play and fun. The more you focus on that, the more energetically charged you are to attract this person in. Okay, hold on. They just said another deck, but I'm not sure which one. Which one? Miracles now, they said. Okay, miracles now. So it feels like this is like a manifestation process that you've been in. I just heard called to, so you've been called to this, or this could mean somebody's calling you, or you're calling this person to you. I measure my success by how much fun I'm having. Yes, you need to have fun here, group number 2. This is the key. They just showed me that really clearly. This is the key that opens the door to this other person. It's like the other person's on the other side of the door. Both of you can create this key at the same time, simultaneously, but it has to be through fun. So the more fun you have, the lighter your heart becomes, the more magnetic your aura becomes, the more this person manifests into your life, and the easier time that you will have if there is any initial conflict or a disagreement. I don't really feel that here, but maybe this was something in the past. Sometimes no is the most loving response. Yeah, maybe you knew this person and you had to say no to them in the past. I should say know this person and you had to say no to them in the past. Maybe you overgave. Maybe you had to set some boundaries, or maybe you're meeting this person and you know better than to overgive. I'm hearing don't sell yourself short. You may even have multiple options of people coming in, group number 2, but amidst the weeds of all of these different options that you have, there's going to be like a diamond, possibly a diamond in the rough, but there's somebody here that you're very much aligned to. And it is an ideal partnership or an ideal mate for you. And what you're meant to do is focus on how you feel. Focus entirely on how you feel within yourself, your self-care, your independence, and how this other person adds to your life, and really being firm about your boundaries, especially if there's religious contention or a difference in beliefs or something like that. Don't be confrontational, but don't back down either. Something about that. It's like not compromising everything you've worked so hard to build, and the right person will complement that perfectly. Look at this. I release my need to be perfect and I center into my commitment to serve the world more love. I hadn't looked at the card yet. I was looking up and to the left because that's how I channel best. And I said perfectly, and then it says the word perfect right there. So group number 2. This person is perfect for you, but the key here is that you need to be in this state of acceptance, like not trying to strive for perfection, but not settling for less. It's like this middle ground. It's like this sort of Goldilocks and the 3 bears type of scenario where not too hot, not too cold, just right. So there may even be 3 options. There may be 3 options of people who are coming in or who are already present in your life, and you're having to kind of gauge how each person fits with you and your needs and your desires and your lifestyle. I'm hearing something about your lifestyle. I'm seeing the word commitment really standing out. So again, this is the relationship that will lead to long-term commitment, whether it is an actual engagement or just a very committed relationship, because engagement rings don't necessarily have to mean that you're going to marry this person. It could just mean that you are very committed to one another, symbolically. But it could very well lead to marriage, if that's something that you desire. That could be where the contention is, actually, now that I'm mentioning that, because we had religious factors, and marriage is technically a religious thing. So, I mean, like, it's a cultural tradition too, and but some people don't want to get married, and you can still love the other person. So maybe there's some contrast there, or it creates like that chemical reaction that boils over and you get triggered, or you got triggered, and now you have the opportunity to reconcile that within yourself and to learn what truly makes you happy, or to come back together with this person that maybe you broke things off with, and you are able to commit to one another in a new way because you've evolved on your life journey and you've gained perspective. I just remembered you had the perspective card under there. There's a deeper reason, like if you know this person already and I am hearing the word torn apart. Okay, if you were torn apart from this person, there was a reason for it. There was things that you needed to learn. There was self-development that you needed to do. And if this isn't someone that you know, this is definitely someone that you know from past lives. Like this is not a new soul to you, right? We can meet new souls. We totally can. All the time we do. But this person, you've been around the block and back again with them. And that's why there may be some initial conflict. But it's interesting because what they're showing me clairvoyantly is that it's kind of like in a rom-com when you meet, like there's this meet cute, and it's kind of like conflict to love scenario where you're immediately in opposition, or you don't agree on something, or you don't necessarily get off on the right foot, or there's some friction in the beginning. But then once that's resolved and you both learn from it, everything really balances out, and you find out that you're actually a really balanced coupling, and it works really well. And then now they're showing me two old people sitting out on the front porch in their rocking chairs. So it's like, and that reminds me of the game that they play in How I Met Your Mother, the what do they call it? The front porch test or something like that. And it's like, can you picture yourself with this person when you are old and sitting on that front porch together? Is this the long haul person kind of thing? And I get this feeling, group number 2, that you realize that this person is that person. Like, you want to spend your life with them. You want to grow old with them. You want them to be around, even if sometimes, or in the beginning, or even if your history was a little bit challenged. Obviously, again, message really strong coming through here about do not sacrifice your boundaries, your needs, or your own happiness. You need to have a foundation of independence and personal power and autonomy before you and this person can have a really healthy relationship. So if there is any abuse, or there was anything toxic, or this person does not respect your boundaries, or you have fundamental differences that cannot be reconciled, then this is not your reading, and that is not your person. Like, sorry, just got to tell you, that's not your person. If you're in an abusive relationship, that's not your person. No, walk away. You can do better. So the more that you focus on what you want, the stronger your magnetic resonance becomes. And the more that something was hidden comes to light, and you see this person. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot to do with shining. So you're going to see this person shining. Like, they might have a very sort of bright aura too, or they see you in that way, because I kept getting that message of like a bright, shiny aura or juicy aura. And even people who don't see auras can still subconsciously feel other people's auras, or like see them. And those who can actually see auras, even more so. I trained myself to see auras years ago, and I don't necessarily use that form of clairvoyance very often, but I can kind of turn it on and off, and like look at someone hard enough and I'll see it. Or I can close my eyes and I can see it clairvoyantly. It's actually easier to do it that way, but you can see it with your physical eyes if you train yourself to do it. And I'm seeing this person spotting you from in the crowd, or like they see you and you just stand out. Like there's a spotlight on you. So this person may approach you. They are showing me a gym, and they did show us treadmills and things before. So maybe you meet in a gym or something like that. I don't know. But this person sees you and they approach you. That's the vibe I'm getting. Or maybe you bump into somebody, like if this is someone you know from the past, you bump into them in a public place like that. Unexpected. It was unplanned is kind of what it feels like. Yeah, they keep saying the word meet cute in my mind. So I think for a lot of you, this is not someone that you've met in this lifetime. That's not for everyone, but the meet cute is like the first time you meet. And it's usually in like a sort of serendipitous type of way. So like you bump into one another, or, in all of like the Hallmark romance movies where you spill your coffee on them or something, or like, let's say the gym analogy or the gym scenario is accurate, and you like both want to use the same gym exercise bike or whatever it is at the same time. And you're like, oh no, you go first. No, you go first. Like something like that. It just feels like a romance movie. It does. Group 2. I'm not just trying to pump your tires here like that. This is what I'm getting. And I don't do a lot of love readings because I don't like to. I don't like to feed into the delusion of all of the like twin flame and soulmate and like, what are they thinking and what are they feeling readings. I hate that crap because it's pandering and it keeps people in this cycle of dependency and addiction. And I'm not about that life, So I don't do a lot of love readings, but I'm telling you this in all honesty and in all truth of what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm getting. I'm not bullshitting you. I feel this. It's like a romance movie. And they said telling your grandkids. They said telling your grandkids. I don't know if you want to have kids or what, but like it's like this story that is so quintessentially romantic that you want to tell people who come after you about it. Like it's that type of thing, because that's what I just heard from Spirit. That's exactly sort of quantifying what I was trying to say. It's like, yes, exactly. It's so idyllic or so perfect or so stereotypical in a way that you become like a legend almost, as in your family or in your community. You become a legend because it's like this, it's like your life became a movie, or it's like a real life movie kind of thing scenario. It's really cool. Let me know how this unfolds. I'm very curious to see, like, if you're not experiencing this yet, obviously don't attach to this. Don't be like, this is happening and exactly as she said. Don't give your power away to me. Okay. Don't do that. It's yours. Keep it. But come back if this happens and tell me if you remember. Put it in the comments or whatever, right? Like, let us know how this unfolds, because I'm curious now. I want to see. And I love romance. I do like a good romance movie, even the cheesy ones. So group number 2, this is the message. This is why Spirit brought you here today. Not expecting to do a love reading, but here we are. It is what it is. They make the rules. Use the boss, Spirit. So they wanted to let you know about this. So if you have not met this person yet, keep focusing on your own joy, your own happiness, what makes you feel alive and, invigorated, and what you find really fun. Focus on like dating yourself or doing that self-love pursuit and having that power perspective. Everything that you're doing there is helping not to attract the one, but it's helping you to become the one. And then as a product of that, this person becomes available to you. All right, so I will leave it there. I hope this reading was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. And like I said, see how this unfolds, because it might not even make sense yet, but maybe you'll just know till later. All right, so I'm sending you guys lots of love. I'm seeing Cupid right now. They're showing me clairvoyantly like the angel Cupid. Yeah, so Cupid's got his bow and arrow cocked and ready, group number 2, and it is aimed on you. They're showing me a scope like like a sniper. It's like it's the scope or the target is trained on you. So like it's just a matter of time. I'm hearing it's just a matter of time before Cupid's arrow strikes. Keep your head about you, keep your wits about you, keep focusing on yourself, but definitely keep in mind that this could be the romance of a lifetime if it feels healthy. Okay, I love you guys, sending you lots of love and blessings and protection for your greatest and highest good, and your greatest and highest good always. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. You were called to, or you chose the Sun card. So I'm interested to see what message Spirit has for you, why they've called you to this reading today, what you are 100% ready for. It feels like a new dawn. So something is dawning in your life, new opportunities. I'm hearing something is becoming clear. Okay. Something's becoming very, very clear. Awakening. Something is becoming very clear. You are gaining, oh my God, just so much awareness. I'm feeling this energy of being very sure of yourself, group number 3. Like no doubt in your mind, 100% pure knowing. And it feels galvanizing to me, like the way I'm experiencing it as I'm channeling the energy through my body. It feels galvanizing, like I know exactly what I need to do. I feel empowered. And I almost wanted, like when I said, or I was trying to say empowered, it almost came out as imperative. So it's like, it's imperative that I take this action or I do this thing, or this is what's important to me and I know it and it's so clear. So if you've felt confused or you were having a hard time trusting your intuition or getting clarity on this knowing, I'm hearing claircognizance. Yeah, that is literally clear knowing. It's a fully activated ground chakra. So you get downloads of like pure knowing. You don't have necessarily the vision or the hearing or the other things that come along with that knowing. It's just like a download of a package where you're like, okay, I've got the file, like I've uploaded the file into my soul matrix. I know exactly what to do. Like I'm a master at Taekwondo now, something like that, like in the Matrix, the Page of Swords. I hear clear direction. You have a very clear direction, clear directive even, it's reminding me of the Prime Directive in Star Trek. I'm such a Trekkie. I love it. And the Prime Directive is that you can't interfere with a civilization, and that you're just there to observe or to study or to explore. I can't remember what the actual Star Trek, like what it is word for word, but that's kind of what's coming back into my mind about it. 10 of Wands. Okay. I feel like you have a very purposeful and intentional new direction that you want to move in, and it might require you to take on some additional responsibility, group number 3, but Spirit is here to tell you, and they've caused you to click on this reading today because you're ready. You may have felt like you were not ready or that this was a big step out of your comfort zone, but they're telling you, no, you're ready. And I think, again, you know that, or you will, because this clear knowing is going to come in. Like it's not going to be from this reading. It's just going to happen. And you're going to remember this reading and go, oh, yeah, Siobhan told me this would happen. Or rather, Spirit told me this would happen. I'm just the middleman. But, you will have that memory and you'll be like, okay, I know what to do. And then you'll go do it. And you'll trust yourself. Because I think the reason Spirit called you to this reading, and it's all about the timing, is that if you hadn't had this reading to kind of like let you know that this was going to happen, you may have gotten this knowing, but then doubted it or felt like maybe I don't have the practical skills, or it's not rational or logical, or I'm not ready yet, I haven't learned enough, or I don't have the prerequisites. There could have been like some rationalization that the human ego mind would have kind of thrown in a wrench into the works or tripped you up with. So I'm feeling like you just needed this reading to kind of give you the perspective on the fact that you're going to get this knowing, and then you'll know that knowing is accurate. Does that make sense? Like you'll know the knowing when you know it. I feel this card too. Oppression. If you have been struggling, if you have felt weighed down, if you have felt under pressure, they're showing me coal turning into a diamond, like deep, deep pressure. This was all for a reason, and there was something veiled to you. I was seeing synchronicities about ghosts today, and the way that she's got this like sheet over top of her in this image, it feels to me like, when you dress up as a ghost for Halloween. So there was something that you couldn't see clearly, something that was eluding you, I'm hearing. Yeah, it's like you didn't have the full picture of it yet, or you didn't have that knowing, you know, like you just didn't have that knowing. But it's coming. What else does group number 3 need to know about this right now? The 8 of Wands, it is coming and it's happening fast. It's going to happen pretty quickly, or it's going to come in quickly. I don't know when it's going to happen, if it's like fast in terms of right now when you're watching this video, but it's going to, when it does happen, it will come in really quickly. So it might be like this moment of clarity that just hits you. I just heard idea. Okay, so you might get an idea to do something, and it is fundamental to you. There's something about it that, and they're giving me that word galvanizing again. So there's something about this idea and this knowing that you get, like, this is what I need to be doing. This is where I need to put my efforts. This is how I'm going to break free. This is how I'm going to do it. And then you do it. On the bottom, you have Akashic records. Wow. I am hearing something about an Akashic records reading. There's a few people in the community here on the channel, especially members. There's a few members that I know, and they do soul realignment readings. I used to do soul realignment readings. I don't offer those as a service anymore. But if you're looking for an Akashic reading, you can check out the Soul Realignment website. I have links in the description box below, or you can reach out to one of the members. If you're a member and you're watching this reading and you want to offer Soul Realignment, just put it in the comments so that you guys can link up. And yeah, because there's some kind of this, there's like information coming in. Or maybe this is you tapping into your own Akash, group number 3. Yeah, tapping into your Akash and getting this clear knowing of this is who I am. This is what I set out to do when I incarnated here. This is my blueprint. This is what I'm all about. And it's strong. It's very, very strong. And I'm seeing you taking action on it right away. Implementing, I'm hearing. Implementing. Opportunity. I was getting that from the sun. Did I actually, I can't remember if I actually said the word opportunity. Maybe, but I heard it and I was feeling it. Sometimes I don't say everything that I hear and feel and see when I'm doing readings because it would be too much and I would be like bouncing all over the place, but I did hear and see or feel whatever. I got the message about opportunity. It's kind of like a mishmash of all of those because I use all my clairs, but yeah, this is an opportunity, like a big one. And it might be a little bit of a leap of faith with the mountain goat here jumping over this chasm, but like they're good at that. So maybe this is you realizing like, oh, I can jump further than I thought I could, or I can do this thing that maybe I was psyching myself out for. I keep getting this energy from the Page of Swords of kind of like imposter syndrome. Like maybe you felt like you're not qualified for something or you don't have the capacity to do that, but you're wrong. Group number 3. And you realize that. You're like, oh, whoops, I am able to do this. I am qualified. I am capable. I am that I am. You realize how powerful you are and you get out of this oppression really, really quickly. Exponential growth. I'm hearing exponential growth. Okay. Light, awakening and light and the sun. Come on. What does the sun do? It sheds light. What does that give us? An opportunity to live. Like the sun is the source of all life. So this is a huge, massive up level in your life. Group number 3. I'm getting sacral chakra from the 10 of Wands and the light card. So this could be like a creative pursuit that you want to do, or something that changes your financial situation, or the way that you input energy. Could be to do with sexuality as well. Sacral chakra rules all those areas. Oh, they want me to get dogs against anxiety. Okay. I'm just intuitively grabbing whatever decks. Like usually I kind of do this before the readings, but for this one, Spirit said we're just going to do it sort of like impromptu. So that's what we doing. That's what we doing. Be good to yourself. Look at this little guy. So cute. Subtle sounds. Take a moment and listen for sounds that you're usually not aware of. Try to pay attention to parts of your life that usually go unnoticed. Yeah, I feel like you get this clarity in a moment of connection, like maybe you're meditating or maybe you're doing something and all of a sudden it's like your senses are heightened. This is the sensation they're giving me. Your senses are heightened and all of a sudden everything makes sense. It's like it clicks into place. They're showing me a light bulb over top of someone's head. It's very comical. Like, that very stereotypical like light bulb moment. This is a bright idea. This is clarity of thought. This is you having this epiphany or this awakening in this moment where it's like everything becomes clear because you can see the pieces of the puzzle and how they fit together. The pieces of your life, and I'm hearing the pieces of your life finally fit together to show you who you are and then what you're meant to be. And you make that happen and you put it into action. I keep feeling they're telling me the word swift. It's kind of reminding me of Taylor Swift. So it could be, I don't know, something creative. She's a performer. Could be something creative like that. But it's more like it happens quickly or it unfolds quickly, or you produce a lot. If it's something creative, you produce a lot really quickly, something like that. Subtle sounds. Okay. No more of that one. They said, okay, just that one from there. Oh, they want this one. This is my other channeled messages deck. I've got 2 now. For group number 3, in regard to this epiphany, this clarity, this opportunity, specifically the opportunity. What is the opportunity that comes from this? Let's ask that. Feel that one. Oh my God, you're about to level up big time, group number 3. You are just on the verge, literally you've like come to the edge here of outgrowing your old situation. As your new self emerges, your life will begin to change as a result. This is what I'm saying. They're just confirming it here. You're about to level up big time, group number 3. And it's going to happen so fast. It's like you go from negative to positive, like overnight. I'm getting like Biggie Smalls, I went from negative to positive and it's all good. You're able to expand in this way. You're shifting something pretty significant because you have this clarity. It's just like, you just know what to do. This is a huge level up for you. You could be outgrowing an old situation. I'm feeling like there's kind of like all the doors were closed. You know that saying, when God closes a door, he opens a window. It's like you're jumping out the window because you're like, oh, this is an exit point. It doesn't matter. I don't need the door. The window's open. So I'm just going to go that way. And it's kind of like they're showing me somebody clairvoyantly circling around in a room with a locked door, feeling really oppressed, really afraid, really lost and confused. And then all of a sudden, and now I'm seeing the movie Dazed and Confused for some, oh yeah, because I said the word confused, but they're showing me that movie. There could be a message in that movie. I haven't seen it in years, but it's like, okay, all of a sudden you realize the window's open. Like, how did I miss that? It's like it was hidden in plain sight, or there was something very obvious that you just weren't seeing, or maybe it was hidden behind something. They're showing me like a mirror in front of the window so you couldn't see it. All you could see was the room that you were in. But all of a sudden it gets revealed and you're able to jump out the window onto the ground because it's like ground level. And you just walk out. You're like, oh, I'm not trapped at all. I'm not trapped at all. I'm good. Yeah. So pay attention, because something that usually goes unnoticed is going to become really obvious to you, group number 3, like really obvious. And it's a gateway that's opening up. Like this window, it's not just a window, it's a gateway. It's a massive up level for you. Okay, let's get, let me just shuffle this a little bit because we use this in group 1. So you're breaking free. This is what this feels like. It was like a mental trap, group number 3. You were kind of stuck in a mental trap, and you have this realization and you unlock this opportunity, this potential. I'm hearing potential, your potential. You didn't know who you were. And how can you put yourself into a huge level up in life if you don't know who you are and what you're capable of. So this is like you seeing yourself clearly. And maybe that's why they showed us the mirror in the room or in the examples. Kind of like maybe you needed to go over and look in the mirror, and then all of a sudden the mirror becomes transparent. You can see the window and you break through the mirror. Maybe it's like limiting self-beliefs or something like that. Like the false mirror was showing you these parts of yourself that were insecure, that were keeping you stuck. You shatter that mirror and then you jump out the window. I hope that makes sense. The way they're showing it to me, it makes sense. Okay, I feel that one. Lotus. This is, oh my God, group number 3, this is a huge awakening. I'm hearing this ain't nothing to play with, or this ain't nothing to F with. Like I think you're realizing how powerful you are. And it's like a full body knowing. You're not doubting yourself. And I'm hearing not doubting yourself ever again. Like not doubting what you're capable of. Sure, you might have moments where you level up and there's some insecurity that's triggered, or there's that imposter syndrome moment, but it's not ever going to stop you again. It's never going to trap you the way that it did this time or that it did in the past. And here's what I like to do, group number 3. This is something that Spirit taught me. Anytime that I feel imposter syndrome, I see that as a symptom of progress, and I congratulate myself because it means that I'm leveling up. So anytime that I feel that imposter syndrome, and instead of believing it and allowing it to have control over me, I look at that as a good thing. I'm like, oh, good, I'm feeling imposter syndrome, like I don't belong, or like I'm not ready for this. That means I'm leveling up. That means I've just graduated into a whole new class of experience in life. And that's a good thing. That's what I want to do. It feels uncomfortable, but it's good. That's how you grow. So I'm getting this energy of like, this is what it is, a big breakthrough moment for you, group number 3, because you're no longer playing small. You're no longer playing small. I'm hearing think bigger, and then think bigger, and then think bigger. It's almost like what you think is thinking big is still thinking small. You have not thought big enough. And it's because you haven't experienced that, or you haven't had an identity connected to or attached to that yet, but you will. And it's kind of like you needed to scale up slowly. So maybe you've already been making some improvements, or you've already been leveling up, but this is like a big jump for you. I feel like you've climbed a mountain, all right? You've climbed a mountain, which was a huge effort, a big endeavor. And that's maybe where this responsibility comes in. And this has qualified you to be able to make this jump. And it's like you're going from mountaintop to mountaintop. Very elevated consciousness here. Elevated self-perspective. And yes, with great power comes great responsibility. One of my favorite quotes of all time. And yeah, it's from Spider-Man. But it's true. Great power necessitates great responsibility, and vice versa. Because we have to wield that power with respect, with integrity, with love and compassion. Otherwise, we sabotage ourselves or we hurt other people. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to do that. So I think this is where maybe you were concerned before in the past, like, can I handle this level of responsibility? And I did just hear the word notoriety. So maybe you're being put in the spotlight in some way. Yeah, the light's on you. And it happens quickly. But it frees you. It helps you to get out of this oppressive situation. They're showing me a butterfly in a cocoon, and it's like you're ready. You're ready to burst out of there. And if you don't get out of there, then it just gets tighter and tighter, and it squeezes you until you have to bust out. You got to break free. Loyalist. I feel like you're getting very clear instructions from spirit, from your intuition, from your guides, maybe, doing this Akashic work in some way, about what you are truly loyal to, like where your integrity lies within yourself, what your values are. And that really gives you clarity on what you're doing and why you're doing it and what you're capable of. Oh my God, look at that. We have Capricorn on the bottom, and you have the mountain goat here. That's Capricorn. So you're very sure-footed. You're very sure-footed here, group number 3. And you are going to commit to this path if you haven't already. Like if this hasn't happened yet, you're going to commit to this path and you are going to excel. You're going to be very successful because you're a hard worker and you've worked hard to get to this point. But this is a major expansion because it's kind of shattering all of the misperceptions that you've had about how successful you can really be and what that actually means for you. And it's going to be different from person to person. Not everyone wants to be successful in the limelight or have fame be an indicator of success. That's not for everyone, and it shouldn't be. But for you, group number 3, whoever I'm talking to with this message, you will know very clearly what it is that is important to you. And not just like in your human experience, but like as a soul, because this is a much higher level of purpose and intention that I'm picking up on here, and that you're going to be picking up on. You're going to be receiving this clarity, and it's going to be mind-blowing. Like, that's what it feels like. It's going to be a mind-blowing moment where it all just clicks. Everything sinks into place, and you're like, okay, I know exactly what to do now. They just directed me to this deck. I was kind of just questioning whether the reading was over there because it felt like that was a very final sort of statement. But then they were like, no, there's a little bit more. Okay, let's find out. Oh my God, Judgment. I did see that on the bottom, and I didn't mean to pull that, but there it was meant to be here. I think that's the same card here. Yeah, the Awakening card in this deck is the Judgment card. So it's like the skies clear, heaven parts, the angels emerge, and they blow the trumpet, and you're like, okay. Yeah, I see now. I understand. Clarity. There's the mountain again, the mountaintop, and the sun. The sun cresting over the mountaintop. What was once dark becomes clear. It's fully bathed in the light of day, which is representative of consciousness. This is a huge awakening to, like, obviously we have the Awakening card, but I mean like a spiritual awakening. You're getting to a new level of consciousness. And this is what's unlocking this opportunity. But it's like, yeah, it's a whole new tier of consciousness. Enlightenment, I'm hearing. Enlightenment. The Emperor, wow. This is like very strong business vibes, but it's like spiritual business, spiritual power. If it's not business, it's like power. You're coming into your power. Yeah, you're outgrowing your old self and becoming this new version of you. Freedom. They showed me the eagle here. Freedom. You're getting free. Free from oppression. Yeah. There's one more. Okay. Three of Wands. When I was pre-shuffling this deck, I did notice the Three of Wands. So I'm not actually too surprised to see that there. We also have the Hierophant. Earth signs are significant. The Hierophant is Taurus. You had Capricorn as well. So it's like this is building a new foundation in your life. That's what it feels like. New job opportunity, I just heard. Okay, so for some of you, this is going to show up as a new job opportunity, or you stepping into a leadership role or a position of more responsibility in your work, whatever it is that you do. I'm seeing this new direction with the Three of Wands. It's like I'm hearing plotting a course, okay? So this could be creating a change in direction for you, or you could maintain the same direction, but just expand out. So it's like you're still going this way, but it widens and you have more what? I don't know. I guess more power, more consciousness, and more empowerment. Really. It's like, this is the thing. It feels like empowerment. Clarity of mind. Yeah, that's going to give you empowerment. Consciousness, soul level consciousness and awareness. That does give you empowerment when you embody it. You're just growing really rapidly. Like with the Eight of Wands and the word outgrowing really standing out to me here. You're growing rapidly, group number 3. So you're going to have some big identity shifts, right? It's like if you grow really fast, it's almost like there may be some, not necessarily growing pains. I think this is actually going to be really fun and nice for you, but it's like you might see parts of yourself that are really powerful that previously went unnoticed. You just didn't recognize those as power points within yourself, but they're going to present themselves to you, and You're going to level up. You're going to be seen in that way. And I just, even when in that sentence, I was kind of like aware of the word choice that was coming through as I'm channeling. And what stood out to me was PowerPoint and presentation. So this could even be a PowerPoint presentation that you're putting on. But even when I think of that as like symbolic, it's you being in a leadership position, you standing up and being in your power, presenting something, feeling confident. You've done the research, you have the knowledge, you are capable, and nailing it and trusting yourself to be able to do that. And I am hearing lead others. So group number 3, if you don't feel like you're a leader, this is what this shift is going to be, or this is why Spirit has brought you here, is because you're 100% ready now to be a leader. And you're just kind of squashing any of those doubts, any of those remaining fears, or I'm hearing self-isolation. Okay, group 3. You're not meant to isolate yourself, all right? So get out of that room that you were trapped in, that you were kind of walking in circles in this metaphor or whatever, and break that glass window or the glass ceiling or whatever it is, and jump out that window and take that leap of faith, because you are meant to do this. It is in your soul blueprint. That's why the Akashic Records is here, because it's in your soul blueprint. It's who you are. You are like bred to be a leader, like at soul level, energetically. This is just you're not even like bred for that. It's just like that's the cloth you're cut from, is kind of the vibe I'm getting. You can't change that about yourself, but it was just covered up. And they're showing me Simba in The Lion King. Mufasa appears in the clouds, right? Oh yeah, the clouds part and the angel presents stuff. Yeah, that Mufasa comes and says, remember who you are, Simba. And Rafiki says, your father lives in you. And it's like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit lives in you, group number 3. You have the God-ordained right to rule in some area and to be responsible, loving, and compassionate with that rulership, with that leadership, with that position of power, whatever it happens to be, big or small. But they keep saying, think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. So don't limit yourself by what you believe to be possible. It's kind of like think bigger and then triple that, quadruple that, and just keep going until it feels ridiculous. Because for some reason, that's like the exercise that's going to break you out of this shell and help you to climb this mountain, or like take this big leap. Emerge from your cocoon. Get the wind back in your sails again. And start taking some leaps and strides forwards in your career, or in your spiritual embodiment, in your soul mission, whatever this is for you. Maybe all of the above. It's very spiritual here, so that's the main part of it, but that can apply to every area of embodiment in your life. So go out there and do it, whatever it is, group number 3, and you will know what it is when this epiphany comes in. You will not mistake that for something else. It would be very clear. And if you've already had this, then this reading is showing up because you are 100% ready to get this confirmation and to put this into action, to fully back that knowing with pursuit of the expression of this embodied gift or power or level of consciousness, okay? You have got it. And you better flaunt it, group number 3, okay? So that is the message that Spirit wanted to bring through for you, that you are 100% ready to hear. I'm really proud of you. I don't know why I wanted to say that, but it just kind of came out of my mouth. I'm really proud of you, group number 3. It probably took a lot of courage for you to get here, or to be ready to prepare yourself to get to this level of awareness. I'm feeling like it wasn't easy. And there was a lot of sort of pitfalls, challenges, missteps, doubts, fears, things like that, and even failures. But that is the road to success that has led you here. And I just want to say I'm proud of you. I just felt it, and I got to say it. So I love you guys. I hope this reading was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest, as always. They're general readings, but if you were called here, you were called here for a reason. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love and blessings and protection for your mission here on this earth, because this is what it feels like. It's like a soul mission that you're stepping into, and that you are empowered and protected by the angels, by your soul team, your spirit guides, and the greatest and highest good of all, source creator. Sending you lots of love, guys. Thank you for being here on the channel and supporting my work in all the ways you do. You can show support really easily just by hitting the like button, give it a thumbs up, and help other people to receive this message. It helps to get this in front of the people who Spirit has deemed it destined for. So thank you for helping to contribute to that. And I'm appreciative of you all. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading.